Hello and welcome. This is Victor. It has been a while since I make any Division 2 playthrough video. Partly because I was quite busy. I wasn't expecting me being so busy. And another thing is just I have been waiting for new content from Division for quite some time. So finally, the developers has just released the season 9 of the Division and TU15. So along with some new exotics and new gears, it also comes with a little bit of extensions from the story that we left behind last time. So last time we heard about the betrayal of Faye Lau, and then now that's something that's kind of like brewing behind the scene, and we are trying to figure out. I think this next step is to figure out what is really happening. But before figuring out the secret, there is a new section that is a manhunt. I'm going to show you roughly what it is. So there is a new manhunt for Captain Lewis. And before that, as always, we need to find or fight or finish a bunch of lieutenants and other of his subordinates. So we are now at the Major Castillo part. This time, at least for Major Castillo, is quite different from the other manhunts. Because previously, typically, you need to finish a few things. Like you need to finish a few missions, and then you need to clear a few control points and do some bounties. But as you can see here, in order to reveal the location of Major Castillo, the only thing you really need to do is to finish 3 control points, finish 1 propaganda broadcast, and 1 bounties. In fact, I have already finished the control points and the propaganda broadcast, which leaves me to 1 bounty, which I'm going to do next, and then the location of Major Castillo is going to reveal, and you'll see that it's actually also quite different from before. So let's do the that part first. So right now, what we're trying to do is we're going to do a what do you call it? How do you call that? We call it a bounty, looking for Specialist Codon. So we're gonna run towards the location of that, and as always, we'll first see a bunch of enemies, and then later on we'll start to see the location or fight Specialist Codon. So if you are following the progression of Division 2, you'll know that they also add in a few new things for the gameplay, including what else? Yeah, so include this little specialization thing, I could say. See that proficiency rank, and then you can increase the proficiency of every single item that you have, like every single weapon, every single gear, and then you're going to donate a bunch of stuff to increase the rank of that. And to increase that, you need to go back to the White House, and then you talk to what's her name? One of the person who can increase the optimization of your stuff. Like I think it's Emma. So we go into here, this area, and then we're gonna fight a bunch of other enemies. So typically, these days what I do is I first throw in like a grenade, and then try to like caught them in surprise, and then I have the stinger hive to help me with. I just set myself on fire. To have the stinger hive to kind of attack the enemies a little bit as well, and then I also have my striker drone to help me with the attack. So essentially, I'm having a DPS build, and this DPS build have been quite nice. If I have a chance, I will be able to show you how this DPS build is actually look like in terms of gears and settings and whatnot. So I was actually quite excited about this new season, because if you noticed, the game has been repeating some of the seasons to several times, and then I didn't notice that until I said, hold on a second, I think I recognize this enemy, or I recognize this bounty, I recognize this manhunt. Like, why is it repeating? And then I also recognize, some of the missions that I've been playing to do the leagues and time trials. It's like, hold on a second, I feel that I've done that before. And then I realized that they actually are repeating some of the the seasons for those of the people who actually miss it, so that they can still replay it. But I've played it before, so it seems a little bit repetitive. But finally, they get a new season with new enemies and a little bit of a progression to storyline. So I'm quite excited about this. It has released in May 12th. So I actually played through this Manhunt once, and then I like it a lot, and I want to make this video for you guys. So I reset the whole thing so that we can actually watch it again. So I know roughly how it looks like. It's quite different from before, as I showed you. The way to unlock or reveal the location of the Manhunt target is also quite different. I think it's actually slightly a little bit easier than before. So let's see what we get here. So that, and I tend to just get rid of some of the stuff that I pick up. Did I pick up something else? No, I think I just drop it. Cool. So moving on, find a way to go up. How do I go up? Oh, well, of course, right, go to the exit. Sometimes I find it's still a little bit disorienting to figure out like where should I go next, especially when you are within a building. So take up the stairs, go back outside, and then we are in this little library area. It's kind of like a closed area, so we can. It's almost perfect to throw anything that has short area. And then I'll throw a stinger hive over here and start my striker drone. So fighting Specialist Colon. Go. So when this target is down, we'll finish our little project to reveal the location of Major Castillo. For that, let's take a look at the loot, see if there's anything that we want to keep. I think we are pretty good on this end. Cool. Let's finish up all of the enemies over here.
We took out another one. Good job, agents.
So now we have unlocked the location of Major Castillo.
Everything stable with the grid? Nothing is stable with the grid. Everything is old and failing. That's comforting. Should I be looking for a fallout shelter? Everything is stable with the reactor. The reactor and the grid are two separate things. Trust me, if the reactor failed, you'd know. Oh, well, you're the expert. Your local power supply has nothing to do with our work here. If you're having rolling blackouts, brownouts, or unstable power, you're going to need to send someone down to the relay stations and transformers and see if they need maintenance.
I'll see if I've got anyone who knows that infrastructure.
Good luck. Start with ex-Public Works employees. Or, I guess, raid the Secretary of the Interior's office for a map of the power stations.
You're funny.
I'm serious. Go to City Hall. They should have schematics for all of this stuff. It should also be online. Your precious Isaac should have all that data.
You should be an agent.
I'm happy being an engineer. I don't need to play sheriff. It's probably squatters. Someone taps into the line, doesn't know what they're doing, and fucks up the whole system. You'll need to check the stations. Then you need to send the exterminators to take care of the rats chewing on the wires. Should be like riding a bike for you, Agent.
Alright, so after this little bit of conversation that reveals who our Major Castillo is, and now we're at the final part of this manhunt for this character. And as you can see, the next thing is we are going actually to DCD headquarters to fight against Major Castillo. So this is also quite new because previously for every manhunt, when it comes down to fight with the manhunt target, you are going to fight that person like a bounty, right? So this time it's kind of like a flip because right now we are actually going into a mission and then we are going to fight this bounty target. So let's go do that. Let me just pick up my stuff, and we can also destroy the drone a little bit. And does that actually take me up or down? Let's see. I think it takes me down, so I probably don't need that. Let's just, instead of doing that, let's just quickly go over to DCD headquarters and see if we can start that mission right there. So last time when I played this little manhunt thing before I reset the whole thing, this mission actually start to pop up as a new mission, and then it turns into a cyan color. I don't know why it doesn't actually show up that way, but we'll see. Like maybe we need to trigger something over there, we need to activate something there. Once we arrive at that point, we'll see what we can do to get hold of the manhunt target, Castillo. So over here we are at this place. Let me see if there's a way I can trigger this thing, because it now shows as completed. How about I do this? Oh, so I guess I need to actually trigger that. So let's activate this bounty, and I'm gonna acquire the target, and then I think we are already at that spot. So let me see if I'm doing it right. The manhunt, Castillo, this is good, and then this is over here, and I don't know why it's not activating. Skip, target acquired. Oh, so it needs to know. I don't know why it takes the second time to trigger it. But once you trigger it, what I understand is that the map will show up that particular mission, DCD headquarters, into something new. As you can see, now it's a change to that. If you take a look at the map, you will see that these two things lights up as, you know, the regular manhunt bounty icon. So the boss is inside, so we need to go in, and then we kind of fight it like before, but now the enemy location will be slightly different, and as you will see later on, I think they're actually a little bit stronger than before as well. Even though I'm just playing challenging mode over here, so we gotta be a little bit careful. Because things will get dicey a little bit.
Major Castillo is a desperate man. People like that.
You see there's a bunch of yellow dudes with a heavier armor over here already. Because before I believe that there were like a lot of like purple persons or dudes, whatever. But now it's all, most of them are kind of like the yellow means that they are the higher end or stronger enemies. And they also have this little machine gun or turret at the front. I think that typically is what happens when you have the Black Tusk. When you're fighting against a Black Tusk, you will have that machine gun at the front or turret at the front. Let's switch over to a slightly longer range weapon over here. So there's one, other one over there. Alright. See if there's anything useful here. Name item, but not quite useful. Let's pick up the this special ammo, and that could become useful later on. So another thing is, once you step in, there are already enemies over here. So let's oh, maybe I should go pick up my stinger hive over there first. So let's go back. So if you listen carefully, it is playing a soundtrack for looking for manhunt targets as well. So that tells us, okay, well, we are on the right track. We are doing the right stuff. If you hear carefully, what we just heard was a little bit of like sound. You see, like the enemies went through the gate or the crates, and it creates a little metallic sound. I think it's actually a really nice touch. Like Normally you don't expect that kind of like things going on, but they put in the effort to put on those little sound effects to tell you, the enemies are running through these grates, which I think is a really good design over there. So good job. So over here, usually the door is closed, and you need to shoot this box to make this door open, and now it's already open for you. So there's a slight difference than before, than the normal DCD headquarters game.
Rogue striker drone detected.
So normally you don't expect a striker drone over here, and here we have striker drones, which is interesting because striker drones usually appears when you have black tusks. Yet you are not actually playing against black tusks over here, which might actually be telling us something, which I don't really know. Maybe we'll see later on. Maybe there's some hints over here as well. Now you can see that my agent has been leveling up, I think second time already, which is great. The reason why it is happening like this is because now we are at the first week for the fighting Castillo and of the season, and then it's actually 2 times the experience that I'm gaining. So I'm leveling up like a little bit faster than normal, which is quite nice. So for those of you who have joined watch me play this live stream, I am playing the new Division 2 Season 9, which has just released a couple of days ago, and I'm pretty excited about it because they haven't been releasing any new content for quite some while, and they have been repeating a few seasons, and as I said earlier on, when I didn't notice that until I start playing Divisions and I see, oh, there's a league that I want to play, and then the mission seems to be quite repetitive. It's like, why did I feel that I have played this before? And then I realized that, oh right, because they are actually just reopening the seasons for mostly, when they explain it, they explain that, oh, we are doing it so that those who have missed the season can also play the season again, which is legit. But at the same time, for those of the people who have been playing those seasons before, it's kind of a little bit repetitive, and we want to have some more new content. So that's why I think it's very nice, and I've been playing that for a while. But along with this new season, new enemies, and a little bit of progression to the storyline, we also have some updates in terms of the gears and the way the gears progress as well. So I think it's getting there. So right now I'm fighting the last part, where I am going to actually manhunt Major Castillo, which is the first person in this season that I need to fight against. And interestingly, what the developer has designed for this particular manhunt is that we are going to find or fight against the manhunt target within a mission, which is an interesting surprise, and it's fun because I've been playing, a lot of people have been playing this same mission for the longest time, and now we're reusing the map, but then we're fighting a different set of enemies for different reason, for different purpose. So it's good to have a little come back to here as well. Alright. And consistently, you can hear that if you listen carefully. They're no longer playing the the background music for this mission anymore. Instead, they are playing this kind of like pumping sound of looking for the manhunt target or bounty target. So it's kind of like an audio cue telling us that we are doing something slightly different. So I think we are fighting, all these enemies are true sons, I think. and the enemies are definitely a little bit stronger than previous. Alright. Okay, so let's see if there's anything we want to pick up on our way, and we can continue to move on. So this actually is. Oh, I should pay a little bit more attention to the surroundings. Alright, so the reason I'll explain to you why I was like, it took me a while to respond to that. The reason why is that I was looking at this particular gear. So this gear, oops, is a just finish this guy. All right. So this particular one is a foundry boardwalk type. Is a gear set that you can. A special gear set, and it is a backpack. Is it a backpack? I think it's a backpack. But the name is called Shield Carrier. This is actually one of the items that I was actually looking for a project that I need to go with to build a regular exotic weapon. And I actually wrote it down, and I actually got it last time when I was playing a raid. The only thing I need to have for that boardwalk is actually an armor. So whenever I see an item that is a boardwalk gear set, I will pay special attention to see if it is an armor or not. I may have accidentally destroyed one. Hopefully I will find one here. I heard that they actually make sure that those gear are actually only obtainable through playing raids. But since I see the shield here, either I pick it up so that now they are available in missions, or they decided to release that. One more thing that we notice here is you see these little tops with this little logo here. This logo is a Black Tusk logo. But then we are not playing against Black Tusk. So I think there's actually some hint about they're working with Black Tusk, or like there's some Black Tusk component or participation in this new season number 9. But we'll see. It seems that there's no really clear indication of that, but maybe later on there's a better, true review or some sort, and we'll see more about that. So this is a very interesting area. There's a lot of environmental things that we can make use of to help us to fight the enemies, including those canisters that will explode. This is also kind of like a closed-off area. If you get the higher ground, like me, climb up the ladder very early on, then you get a pretty good advantage. Enemies, of course, are going to spawn from above, as you saw over here, and also they are just down below. But once you're in a good spot, you are pretty good. Just make sure that they don't flank you on the left and right, and there are, of course, snipers over here as well, so finish them as quickly as possible will be a good approach. Alright, so there's another boardwalk drop, so let's take a look, see if there's anything useful over here. So over here we have a mask. We already have an arm mask, so I don't really need that. This is also a new gear brand that comes with TU-15. Usina Getika. I probably can pronounce it very wrongly. Yeah. So I think it focuses on the shield side and also the armor side. So it allows you to have like a more shield or tank build than a more like towards a DPS build, which is quite nice because my build is definitely a DPS build with lots of red, and there's a particular kind of gear set or brand that allows you to do that. If we have time at the end of this video, I'll show you what is my current build, and hopefully you will get a chance to do that and try that if this is, if this is what you like to have. Alright. Over here we have a bunch of enemies. There's one over here. Alright, so that guy's done. Okay, so next part should be climbing up to a library, if I remember correctly. There we go. And this is actually the part that we will be fighting off Major Castillo. He is not at the end of this part. If you remember how DCT headquarters plans out, you are going to go to a laptop on the other side of this room, of the library. You wait for some time, you go upstairs to the open area, and then you fight a boss. But here, you don't do that. Everything happens over here. So what I normally do is I will throw a grenade over there, down here, and then I'll throw like a stinger hive over here. Oh, actually it shouldn't be downstairs. Anyway, I should be over there at the balcony. I think it's actually a better way to do that, but well, that's what it is. Alright, let's start our drone as well. I think there's one guy behind us. That's good. Drone yourself. Make sure that our the medic doesn't actually revive anyone. Okay, there's one guy over here. So if you have a close range weapon, chances are you are going to run over to the other side and then start shooting. So as you can see now, our target has just showed up. But of course, we want to finish off the other enemies as well. We heard that there is a striker drone, and fortunately, our stinger hive is doing its job. It's doing well. It's good. Like that. This guy, and I think this is it. So let me see. Oh, I have a field grenade launcher. Let's do that. Before that, you see the green area over here? What it means is that he dropped a healing thing or an armor repair thing, which can be annoying, so let's just get rid of that before we proceed with the rest of the Manhunt. Right, so over here, we can use our grenade launcher a little bit. If we can aim. It's actually not doing a lot of damage, honestly. I think. So let's switch to our this weapon, which has special ammo, which I get like from the beginning of this mission. So this is a rifle, and the rifle is actually quite useful.
Major Castillo, status deceased.
All right.
Castillo is consumed by his grief. He's with his family now, if that's any comfort. Major Castillo was in pain, but that doesn't mean he was allowed to pass that pain on to other people. The True Sons exploited his grief and used his story to recruit more people to their cause. Thank you for helping him rest in peace. I hate this part of the job. I just wanted to let you know I finished decrypting a Lau file. Meet me in the basement so I can show you what we found.
Alright, so the next part is going to be going to meet up with Kelso at the White House, and then you are going to unlock something. And what happens is that you will be asked to provide a second encryption key. And from what I read from the internet, you are going to get that second encryption key once you fight the next boss. So I believe it's either this person, the other person, or the other person. I don't know what the order is, but that has to wait and for 2 weeks. So let's take a look. 8 weeks, 5 weeks. So yeah, probably we're gonna fight Sergeant Danilis, and then we are going to get the description key, and then proceed with unraveling the rest of the story. But as you can see, to fight Major Castillo, what happens is that you go to the Constitution Hall, you do a few control points, you do one propaganda broadcast. Usually the order I would recommend is that you start with the control points, and then you until you find one control point that is linked to the propaganda broadcast. The reason why I would recommend doing that is that the propaganda broadcast, when you finish it, there's a chance that you can make the threat level of one of the control points that you need to finish to up 1. Typically, it will up to 4. From what I remember, they always go up to 4, which is the highest level of control points threat level. There's a higher chance that you can actually get a better drop. I remember that last time I played it actually has an exotic drop by playing that control point, because I bump up the difficulty level or the threat level for that. So it's just a little trick to that. After that, you fight you do the bounty, and then you get to fight Major Castillo over here in DCD headquarters. Alright. So let's take a look at the loot to see if there's anything that I can actually make use of. So I do have a plate armor, which is a bulwark, so I'm going to keep it. I will try to see if I actually finish a project that I've been trying so hard to do that. And let's see what else we have. So there's this guy. So let's just take a look at my project to see if there's anything I can just finish it. So over here I have this guy. And oh, there we go, look at that. I actually can finish it. I don't need to go back to raid to look for this particular gear. And as you can see, I have already picked up all of the other gear parts. So let's just donate this guy. And then now I am given a bunch of other stuff. So I already have a bunch of alloy I can donate. Let's donate it. I have a bunch of base materials. I can also donate that. And the rest is just to donate a bunch of gears. So I'm going to check, because these are some of the things I collect along the way. I might not want to say goodbye to them just yet. But these are some of the things that I can farm. So I'm not too worried about that. This will allow me to actually be one step closer to building my own Regulus. Alright, anyway, so let's take a look at the other stuff over here to see anything that will be useful. So this is not a pretty good roll, and then this is also a media core roll. Still it's not that good. And I already have some of this over here. Right, so let's see if there's anything else we need. Oh, there's another thing to pick up. So let's see what we pick up for the machine gun. So I have a machine gun. Let's take a look at the machine gun. Oh, by the way, so this is also one of the new exotics that got introduced into the new TU15, I believe. Is it 15? Maybe it's 15, the latest version of the update. It's called Dread at Edict. And it's a sniper rifle. And the neat thing about this guy is it's actually really accurate and pretty stable. When you compare with another exotic marksman rifle, you can see that the so let's just compare that quickly. So we have the this guy, we have the accuracy up to like maybe 80-90%, and but it's more or less the same as Nemesis. But then you can see the stability is much higher, almost double than the Nemesis over here. So it's a really stable thing. But you are trading off with the total damage. This total damage is about 400k. Whereas this guy is like 6 times. But you get a very interesting talent over here, because take a look at that. So you're shooting enemies, you build up stack, and then you each time you build up the stack, you get better damage for this weapon. And then you also can get some extra ammo when you armor when you reload, which is quite a unique talent. You get extra armor by reloading. The coolest thing is that when you actually kill the enemy with a headshot, you actually restore all bullets in your magazine. So essentially, if you are very good at headshotting, then you essentially never need to reload, because every time you headshot someone, you reload your weapon by itself. So it's actually a quite interesting talent over here. So let's go to, I think I pick up this guy. I think this is actually one of the rewards from leveling up enough times. So it's a new assault rifle. I don't know, like, it's just, I don't think it's a named weapon, and it means that you don't really have really good talents. It's just a regular talent that can randomize a little bit. I might keep it just for the looks, but I might just put it in the stash because I don't really need that part. Let's take a look at, so this is also a new set, a glove, and this is also, I think there's another one over here. So this one does, actually it does some good things about the assault rifle, and maybe I'll try a build with this guy. I think it does a little bit of pulsing. There's a lot of pulsing things going on in this new version. So you can see that this guy does a little bit of pulsing if you have 4 pieces or more. And then if you take a look at some of the newer stuff, I think one of the machine guns actually does that. How about this guy? Not this guy. Let's take a look at the machine gun over here. I actually collect a lot of stuff. So there is one of the new things that get added, a named weapon that gets added to the new verse, new chapter or whatnot. And then you can see that it also has something to do with the pulse enemies. So there's, I feel that this new season or this new TU, there is a lot of pulse-related talents being used. So I don't know whether this is actually what they are trying to do to get at, with a lot of pulsing things going on. But I haven't really made good use of the pulsing talent or pulsing things throughout the game. I know that one of the things that you do does a lot of pulsing thing that pulses the enemy, make them weaker, and it's a very essential role in raids, for example. Maybe I'll try that later on, but basically that's it, because normally when you finish this part of the DCD headquarters, you are going to go to this computer. So let's go to this computer, and then you're going to do a little bit of typing. You need to wait for maybe a minute or 30 seconds, then this door will unlock, and then you go outside, go upstairs, and then you are going to fight the boss outside. But this is actually the end of the Castillo manhunt or bounty. The next is just you need to fast travel back to White House, talk to Kelso, unlock something, knowing that you need to wait for another 2-5 weeks to unlock more secrets. So we're going to wait for that, and hopefully I hope that I get a chance to record another video for you. But before we go, I just want to show you what is my current gear set look like. So I am almost doing a DPS build, except that I want a little bit of safety, I would say. And so I have one memento with a little bit of blue. So I have full armor. I also have armor on kill on the attribute. I can totally change it to something else to make it even more red, maybe another critical hit damage or whatnot. But I think it's just feel a little bit safer in terms of the defense side. So for the gear set, I have 2 Providence that allows me to increase the critical hit chance. So I have this one. Sometimes I'll swap this out with another Providence so that I get that extra 15% critical hit, but at the very least I get a critical hit chance over here. Now another thing I like about this particular thing is it has unbreakable. So essentially you have a second chance of armor, or you can imagine that it's like 200% of your current armor. So it's also quite, if you want playing solo, you don't want to die so many times, this is quite useful. So unbreakable for the armor, and then I have the Ferrous Group AB as my holster. And the reason why I have this one is because of the assault rifle damage. As you can see, my primary weapon is an assault rifle. I'll come back to that later on. And I also have a glove of the Grupo Sombra SA, which allows me to have 15% extra critical hit damage. So this DPS build basically is heavily focused on increasing critical hit damage, and the weapon that I use, the kind of damage that my weapon can do. Last but not least is the knee pad. It's a fox prayer, which allows me to have 10% rifle damage. So that's why you see my secondary weapon is actually a rifle. But on top of that, you actually get a special attribute called damage to target out of cover. What it allows you to do is when you are shooting any enemies that are not in cover, you get extra 8% of damage. So this is something that is unique to Fox Prayer, and that's why I keep this as my knee pad. I've seen some DPS build that swaps these two, the glove and the holster around. So you have a Ferris, is it Ferris? A Ferris glove and the Group Pro holster. Essentially, we're doing exactly the same thing because there's nothing really special about the attributes or talent for these guys. So you can swap it around. It doesn't really matter. Now back to the primary weapon. So what I'm using is Test Subject, and Test Subject is a named weapon, as you can see in the golden name. Over here, the talent for Test Subject is perfectly in sync. So what it does, it increases the damage dealt by the weapon as well as the skill damage. So if you are doing using a skill that actually causes damage, it actually amplifies the damage. But what's cool about this particular in-sync talent is that the damage increases are doubled when both buffs are active at the same time. So that's why usually when you see me playing with this build, I almost always have some of the more attack-oriented skills, the Striker Drone, the Striker Drone and also the Stinger Hive, because they are actually dealing damages. So these three or any two of these, when they are played together, we are getting extra damage by the talent, right? And Test Subject is a pretty good weapon. You have a decent accuracy, decent stability, reload time is not too bad, and it allows you to put in 3 items to increase crit hit and stuff like that. And for the Baker's Dozen, I really like it because it is another named weapon, and it also has the talent called Perfect Lucky Shot. What it does, it increases the magazine capacity. You have a few more ammo. It doesn't really add too much because you have a really low base magazine size anyways. But the cool thing is if you shoot things from cover and it miss, you don't lose that ammo. So essentially every shot you spend, it hits, it lands. And the damage is all pretty good. You have 500k over 500k damage. When you pair that up with your Fox Prayer, you get what? You get another 10% up. Right, so you get like another 50k over there. So that's the build that I have. I really like it. The pistol, it doesn't really matter. I tend to use this guy because I can switch it to bump up to have one skill tier bump up. So let me show you how it works like. So over here you can see that my skill level right now allows me to have 13 stimes from the Stinger Hive. Now let's see if I switch over to my sidearm. You can see that suddenly it becomes 14. Right? So if I don't really use any primary or secondary weapon, what I can do is I just use my handgun, and then I have one more stime to use. So it's a pretty handy trick I do sometimes. And this pistol actually is surprisingly good. So let me, before I close, you can see that my pistol. So let's take a look at my assault rifle. It has 54 crit hit chance. If I switch it, roughly the same crit hit chance. But look at this, my pistol actually a higher crit hit chance and a decent amount of crit hit damage, right? So it's actually quite a good weapon if you want to use a pistol. And the bonus is that you will never run out of bullets. You see that? You keep reloading, you never run out of bullets. So it's quite an interesting weapon for a sidearm. It's the thing for sidearms in this game. Any sidearms has unlimited bullets. It's not just because of this weapon. Alright, anyway, so that is for the Major Castillo. I know that I spent a lot of time talking about my gear set because I'm really pumped about this gear set. I spent a lot of time perfecting it and figuring out what works best for me. If it works best for you, if you also want to do a DPS build, this might be something that you want to try as well. In any cases, thank you so much for watching, and I'm pretty excited about this new addition to the game, and I hope to see you again to show you more new content from Division 2. And I hope you still enjoy watching me as much as I enjoy playing this game. I still like playing this game. And we'll see if there's any new things that's happening in this game. Any new secrets, any new gears that enhances the gameplay of this game. Right, I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching, and bye.